Osio, folks, welcome to a premiere episode of Kerbal Space. Seems like we're right here at the start screen. It said, welcome to Space Center, nice to meet you, tells you all about it. Tells you to scroll over the different things here. You got your research, your astronaut complex, that's where all your astronauts stay. That's your administration, you set policies. Space plane hangar, if you want to build a space plane, that's where you go. Mission control, that's where we get all our missions, and pretty much vehicle assembly, that's where you assemble your vehicle. Tracking station, that's where you track it, that's where you launch it. This is where you research it. First thing we want to do is go in here, and we can have 2 active contracts at a time. But this will give us some science and whatnots. Actually, before we do any of that, we can just do this. Go in here. Got it. There is Warner von Kerman. He's the chief rocketry engineer. He's telling us don't mess up the place. But we'll start with the command module. Then what is it? Scroll your wheel up and down, press shift and scroll your wheel in and out. Right click, you can spin around, or you can use your arrows to spin around. Up and down arrows will do that, and pretty cool. But after that, I mean, you can click it, move it around, leave it there. If you don't want the part, click it, bring it back over here and put it there. If you do want the part, it'll pop out there. That's about all we want. We want to do that because I don't think we have any science. Yeah, we got some science. We can do a little science out there. That's about it. I don't care to do much more than that right now. We got the astronaut there. Let's go out here and we'll do a little science. Just because, I mean, we can kind of get this done. Mouse wheel scrolls in. Shift doesn't do nothing. Shift actually gives your throttle on this screen here. So to move around, your arrow keys will move you around. But what we can do while we're sitting here is observe the mystery goo. The goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now. Well, we'll write that down. You come down here, you can tell your little guy. Well, first you can click on here, and right down here you can take it to crew report, and you record the crew's assessment of the situation. And everything you do here gives you a little science. So, and when you get done with that, you can bring him out, and you can collect this data, remove the data, and you can even take the data out of that. And then you can do an EVA report. He's like, is it entirely necessary? And press B to get back in the ship, and it will that's all your science. And that's pretty much for it. That's all the science we can do right here, sitting on the pad like that. But you recover your vessel, and we gain 6 science, or 6.9 science earned. And we recovered all our parts, and we recovered all our crew. So, but now we can go in here. We can launch our first vessel. We should have grabbed that one. Yeah. Let's launch our first vessel then. Let's build it. Let's see. There we are. Let's start with a new one right here. New. And we're going to start with the same thing. We start with that. And that's the engines we got. We really ain't got no fuel tanks. So basically, we are going to strap an engine onto that. And a parachute on top. That's basically what we're going to do here. And after that, to get flight, or when we get to flight, we'll take a mystery goo. And if you want to keep things balanced and symmetrical, down here you can left click, and that gives you 4, that gives you 3, that gives you 2. But what it does, I don't know if you can see it, but it'll put 1 on the other side. Or if you got 3, it'll put 3 on there. But we'll right click back down to 2. And is that toggle snap there? Yeah. And toggle snap. That is about it for this spaceship. One thing we do want to do, you see down here, these are our stages. Like our first stage would be fire our engine right here. Well, the next stage would be, you know, when we wanted to come back down and deploy our parachute. Well, right here it's set up, when we fire that engine, it's going to fire that parachute. So we want to add a stage and take the engine down here to number 1. So it's going to be the first one we fire, and then we'll move to this one when we want to come back down and fire that one. And we're pretty much ready. Make sure we got a crew guy in here. Yep, we're going to take Jebediah with us. Let's see, let's just write Quanu 1. First flight. And we'll save that. And put it out on the launch pad. Now on this one, I'm just going to want to go straight up with it. And to do that, if you hold shift down, you see your throttle goes all the way up. Well, control will drop the throttle back down. I'm thinking we'll probably be fine. Alright, we'll just full throttle it. It'll be fine. We can't steer really with this. The command module will be able to have a little bit of steering, but if you turn the SAS on, stability assist system, I guess. Jebediah over here, he's waving at us. He will keep this thing pretty much pointing wherever this is at. This is our thing. If we point this thing over here, this is going to be pointing more towards the horizon. It's going to be pointing east, and east is over there, pretty much straight off that way. And yes, that's our thing. But as soon as we leave the ground, you'll see a little circle show up, and that little circle is going to be telling us which direction the ship is heading and whatnot. But to light it up, we can either click it, activate engine, or we can activate our first stage here and light it up. Now you see our circle there. We don't really want to mess with nothing. I can drop the power a little bit. You see our starting to get some aerodynamic, but we are still going up and away. We'll go a lot further now. We're getting up there where our aerodynamics ain't bothering us so much. I think we're out of fuel. Yeah, that's it. That was the flight. Anyway, we'll come up here, and we're above 10,000. We'll observe the mystery goo up here. The goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. It's pretty good stuff. And we will take a crew report down here. The shore's looking inviting, and you watch the waves roll. That's cool. Now it looks like we are going back down. So we're done with all that. Let's go ahead and hit our next stage, which will be the parachute. And this parachute should fully deploy when we hit about 1,000 meters. But pretty much we went straight up and straight back down. And I don't know if we can get a different report. Just a different I guess we get some science out of that too. Right on. Well, we got a bunch of science and we took our first flight, so we'll get paid for our mission and everything. And 3,000 meters and falling at about 220 meters per second. We're gonna open up. Oof. That'll slow us to about 6 meters per second here. I know it's real close, but it's alright. There's our shadow down there on the ground. Been nice if we'd have blowed over there to the runway or something. If we landed on the runway, we could have got out and took a little more different science. Oh, it didn't blow up though. We landed in a bad spot, but it did not blow up. We won't get out. We'll just recover the vessel. Takes our science with us, and we gained 32 science for that. Or we got 32 now. All our parts come back, all our crew come back. Let's see what we can research. We've got 32 science. Basic rocketry is a good thing. Engineering 101 is a very good thing. And we got 22 left. Let's do survivability. That leaves us 7. We need 18 for that and 20 for that. So, but with these, this will give us heat shields and a service bay, different parachutes, landing struts if we need them. We can make a landing craft, and we get looks like a different science, measuring local atmospheric pressure. And this gives us the decoupler, the thermometer, and a couple of antennas there. This one gives us a different engine and a couple of a fuel tank and another solid fuel booster. But this liquid fuel engine is what we're going to be looking at next here. Alrighty, let's go to mission control, and we want to let's do escape the atmosphere and orbit Kerbal. First world workers, we need to brave Kerbal with the right stuff to help achieve our dreams. Oh, we need a stable orbit. Let's not do that one yet. Let's do this one right here. We will escape the atmosphere for sure. And when we escape the atmosphere, we will we'll get rid of that. We'll leave all this the same. Only thing we're going to do is come here to thermal, and a 1.25 meter will snap right up underneath that. That's our heat shield. That's for re-entry. This is all we're going to be bringing home after we escape the atmosphere. Yeah, we really don't need that because we're not coming in no way. We'll be coming in flat down like a bell. So after that, we need a decoupler. You see the little arrow there? Let me get it down here. Points up. This is the side that's going to be leaving. The rest of this is going to fall away. So if you got it pointing the other way, it'll do about the same, but you're going to be taking this with you. You'll blow this part off and be taking this with you. Whereas if you do it this way with the arrow up, you're going to be blowing this part off and just taking this part with you up there. So after that, we need fuel tanks. We'll stick 1, 2, and I think it's if you hold Alt and click that, it'll do it again. Hold Alt and click it again. We'll stick a bunch of them on there. there's a way to figure this. Let's get an engine down here. Pop that on there. Look at your engine up here. We got thrust at sea level 167 kilonewtons or whatever that is, and a vacuum of space we got 215. It looks like 0.0. So if we look down here to the engineer's report, we will see that our mass is 7.380 ton, which means if you figure out the Earth's gravity is 9.8, we round that off to 10, so you got 73 we need, and we got up here we got 167, so we've almost got 100 more thrust than we need, figuring it that way. Does that make sense? So we can actually make this ship a lot heavier, but right now it's cool the way it is. So our first, I know it's numbered backwards, but this is one that's going to go first, that's the one that's going to go next, and then that one's going to go last. So that's going to light us, and I wonder if that's enough to get there. Let's Alt select 4 there and hold Alt down and click it, and it'll give us 4 more. We'll go a long way in space. I mean, we may get to orbit with that. Let's see, now we are at 9.63. Remember, we still got 167. So that's at 9.63, rounding it up to 10 for the gravity. That's still only 96. So we could, in theory, go a lot more. What we need to do on this though is some stability. So we'll take a basic fin and click that 4 times. That'll give us some good, get us some rocket fins down here. I'll get down here onto it to show you. But anywhere down here low like that is a great place. And that'll be our ship for our first. We will name this one Kawanu 2. Leaving Kerbal. And we shall save that. Alright, let's go out here and hopefully I didn't forget nothing, and this will fly up. Alright, we're here on the launch pad, and we're not wanting to go straight up. I'm wondering if I got enough to do an orbit. You know what? Go to Space Center. Yeah, that'll zoom us back out. Mission control. Let's see if we can get an orbit. There, that'll max out our 2 things there. There we are. Now we're back here. Alright. Now when we take off, we're going to want to arc towards the east over there, straight out over the ocean. That way we're not going back over everything. And when we do, we are not wanting to arc too much. We'll turn the stability on, and we'll give about 75% throttle for takeoff, because I mean we'll overheat this thing if we take off with full power all the way up. And I'll show you as soon as we take off when we get up a little bit. So let's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're up. We hit about 100 meters per second. We will start our turn. We'll give her a little more thrust there. Now we're going to start kicking her off to the side here a little bit. But we're going pretty good. Let's reduce her down. Start just tapping it and holding it over there. Or not really holding it over there, just tapping it. That's the D key. The D key setting off the runway will take you straight east. But what we want to do is get up here. Man, hopefully I got enough to actually get up here and still do this. We may not be able to get in orbit. You see our aerodynamics are starting to go. We may be high enough up though. No, they're starting to get hot. So we need to slow her down. We're getting a little warm. That's fine. We're fixing to be out of this atmosphere. And let's kill the engines because we're going to check toggle our map. And there's our AP. If we burn up there, we should be able to get to an orbit. I don't know if we have enough fuel. I don't think we will. So let's go ahead and let's take us a burn here. All we got. See what we can get to. That is not going to get us to orbit, but that will get us a long ways away around the planet here. Pretty much any time we can go to our next stage and hit the space bar. Goodbye, rocket. It was a good rocket. But go back over here, and as you can see, that's where we're gonna land. Way over there. We got a long ways to go. But while we were up here, see, we are at 94. As soon as we get, I think it's 10 kilometers. I think we are now into, this should tell us where, no, this ain't really telling us where the, while in space near Kerbal, yeah, that's where our, so we're in space near Kerbal, we'll take that. Let's take a crew report, keep experiment, let's go down here to little homie here. Oh, is it not gonna let me come out? I don't know. Cannot disembark while off of Kerbal. Oh, I gotta upgrade the thing before we can go out and take a spacewalk. Anyway, this will give me a chance to explain this. This, with the arrows pointing out like that, means the top of your ship is heading the way you are heading. Now if we were to spin this around and the arrows coming in, this means the butt of our ship is heading the way we were flying. And one of these means that this side is flying that way. I mean, pretty much that's it. This will mean that side's flying that way. And I think there's another, yeah, there's right here. These are all retrograde. If we fired our engines here, that means it would shift our orbit going that way. And if we fired them here, it would shift our orbit to that way. That's what this all means. And here, it would mean we would be shifting off further from Kerbal straight out into wherever that goes. And if we fired here, we would shoot straight into Kerbal, whatever. So, but for re-entry, we want, let's get it around here. There it is. And you do all this with your WASD keys. But for re-entry, we want it's close to the center of that circle right there, with this part of our ship heading towards the atmosphere. And still could be a while because we're going back down. So we hit the aperture of our flight. Yep, see, it was right there. So now we are heading back to Kerbal. Oh, it's gonna be dark when we land. Should have went the other way. It'd still be daylight. Let's see. He's up here. But yeah, when you start getting into the atmosphere here, what is it, about 60,000 kilometers or somewhere around there, I think. We're gonna start getting heated up pretty good. And if you want to spin your spacecraft, that's the Q and E key, and it'll just spin on that little thing there. You can really get it going though, so be careful. Look at your Kerbal down there. Hey, he's all messed up. Spinning back this way, straighten him up. Poor feller. But anyway, kind of keep your eye on it, keep it straight there, and just follow it in. You can actually speed it up a little bit, but it does get a little dangerous, and you can't steer it while you're speeding it up. But we're coming into the atmosphere now. We should be starting to warm up. Look at Jebediah down there. He's all giggly about it. But anyway, well, somewhere around in here we should be coming into the atmosphere. I'm positive of it. Looks like it's starting to warm up. Yeah, there it goes. And it may be possible you may have to adjust a little bit, and if your little things on the side here get a little hot, sometimes you might have to rotate. Depends on, keep them out of the way there. But yeah, we're warmed up and flying in. Kind of keep her pointed down to it there. Re-entry. Oh yeah, hey, there's our debris. That's probably, I don't know if that stuff flew off our ship right here. That can't be the whatchamacallit. Anyway, now that we're in the atmosphere, we can deploy our last stage there, which is the parachute. And again, it will not deploy till we are about 1,000 meters above sea level there, which we are going to be crashing in the sea, so that will be okay. But if we were over land, say a mountain or something, I don't think we wouldn't want to do 1,000 meters, you know. It may be too late by then. But here we are, 1,000 meters opened up, and we are slowed to 6.5, 6.6, 6.1, 6.2, somewhere around 6 meters per second, which is a good little. I wonder what that debris is. I wonder if that is our rocket stage or not. Because I mean, we free falled after this, and that rocket stage just had a little bit of kick backwards. Not too much. It looks like it went further than us though, so I would figure that rocket stage would have landed before us. Its aperture wouldn't have been quite as high because we let go of it so soon. And we are touched down. Splash. I think we can actually get out here and yes, we can collect the data, remove the data. We can take the data out of there. We can do a EVA report, because I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, but that's fine. And climb back in the ship, and I believe we can take another crew report. Yes, we can take another crew report, and let's take a goo report, because we're somewhere different. We're over the ocean. The goo escapes into the water. Uh-oh, that's bad. But we will recover the vessel and take all our science back with us, and we'll get paid for our mission and everything. We earned 32.2 science, and we got most of our parts back. See, I don't see where it says what we got back. Monopropellant, ablator, I don't know. But we got Jebediah back. But that's it. That gives us, is that our money? 274,422, and that's our science. So let's go do some science.